so dumb. Why can't you be like Danny, your brother? Yeah. Oh, you will never be anything in life.
Come on, carry this tool.
Exactly. But the funny thing is, a lot of people don't even realize how that can break someone's self-confidence. And so many people have grown up with that and just feel extremely inadequate without even knowing it.
Of course.
And then they just go into friendships and relationships and life, traumatizing other people with the trauma that they are carrying without even knowing. So it's ingrained in a lot of us, and a lot of people don't even know they are traumatized. That's the sad thing.
And you know, we have talked about this a couple of times. Trauma has affected a lot of people and how to deal with it. But let's hear what inspired you to write the book.
So Rona's trauma is actually a true life story. It's based on a true life story. But it's a mixture of people's stories told as one entity. There's a bit of my experiences in that, and there's a bit of experiences gathered from people who are dealing with similar situations at the time. I wrote this book. It's a very difficult time in my life where maybe I felt like my mental health was about to be destroyed. I actually literally went through therapy, and that's something that a lot of Nigerians do not believe in.
Very seriously.
Yes, therapy is extremely necessary for people. And when I was in therapy, my therapist advised I started keeping a journal. So for every session we had, he said, you know what, to unburden your heart and how you feel, why don't you just recount the experiences and put it down? And we kept doing this, and after a while I was like, this could make a great book.
Like, he went through the journal.
I mean, we had the sessions together, so we kept taking notes every single time. And before I knew it, I literally had like a whole book. And then he was like, you know what, this is so awesome, your journey. And I think it could help so many other people out there who might be struggling. So why don't you think of putting this into it? I've never thought of writing. I'm not an author officially. But hey, today I am an author. So yeah, it was pretty much a tough time for me and personal experience a lot, but mixed up with some other people's experiences at the end of it all. So yes, that's the story behind the story.
And you don't want to share. She has been talking in masks since. So what inspired the book? And she goes, my mental health was this. You don't want to tell the story. You don't want to tell the story.
No, buy the book.
Oh, okay, yes, that's true. Buy the book.
Okay, so let's talk about trauma now and how, you know, you're a career person and also you're a family person.
Yes.
I mean, how were you able to juggle around these things with work? I mean, it should have affected work one way or the other. How are you able to manage these things? So
the beauty of this, like I said, I wrote this book in the space of 2.5 years, believe it or not. I didn't write it in 2 months, no. Because it was extremely traumatic, there were times where I would just shut my laptop and I wouldn't write for 4 months. And I would come back to it again when I think I have that push. So there was time. And the good thing about this book, well, I don't know if it's such a good thing, but the book was centered on the lockdown period.
Okay.
Everything that pretty much happened in the book happened during the lockdown. So we were all at home.
We were all at home
at the time of the happening, but that wasn't the time of the writing. Okay. So it all happened, and post it, when I started going through therapy, we started putting together the manuscript. And this took pretty much, say, about 6 months to another 8 months. And then after that, we thought, wow, this could be a book. So then it took us time to start to chapterize it and break it down into a book and edit and review. And yeah, today we're here. So it didn't affect my job. No, I still have my job, people.
Okay. So what happened, and then you had therapy, and then you began to work on the book.
Yes.
At the time of putting the book together, were you reliving some moments?
Yes, and that's why I said it took me so long. So for me, you know, people have asked me so many times on interviews now, oh, you're an author, do you have writer's block and all of that? And for me, I didn't. Why? Because it was a narrative. So for me, I literally had all the details. So I didn't have to get frozen. But about the emotions, like you said, it brought so much. You know, till today, when I go back and read, I think, wow, did all that really happen to me or to the other people I wrote about? And yes, that's why I said at every point in time when I start writing, I get to a point and then I shut down my system because I'm just overwhelmed with
the emotions.
All the emotions, and then I don't even go back to it, and then I come back again. So it was a roller coaster.
Okay, so let me ask this question. What were the major things you did at that time that helped you through the moment, aside therapy? Are there personal measures that you took? You
So
know?
I started a support group
Okay.
with my friends. I had a couple of friends who needed to check on me every 5 minutes to make sure I was not killing myself. So yeah, we had a WhatsApp group, and we made it a point of duty to have a video call conference every 2 days. And they all just tried to distract me and talk about random stuff that didn't make sense at the time, but it was a way to keep me on track. That really helped. In fact, someone did a review of the book and said that one of the biggest things she appreciated was the fact that the key character, Kosi, in the book, had a lot of support from her family and friends. And I think that's the most important thing. A lot of people do not really have close family or friends that they can trust that when they're going through stuff. In fact, I've been told recently that people don't go to therapies because they carry your gist, or you don't go to your pastors because you become topic of discussion in the church and all of that stuff. So yes, people have those things, but they're still good people. I mean, I think I'm one, if you don't have any friends. But there's still people who are willing to listen and be there. And I think that really, really helped me. I have one of the most supportive family members in this world. Shout out to my younger brother. That guy is my ride or die.
I know. I'm here as well.
So, like, I had people
That's
who
true.
were very helpful. But my therapist, I tell you, he is my priest in my church and also a therapist. He is the best mentor on this planet Earth. I think if I went to a conventional therapist, it might have not been as productive as this was for me. So I think that really also helped me a lot.
Okay.
And you know that saying, they say you don't look like what you've been through. I try not to look like what I go through. So I think that also helped because people saw me and people see me and people keep thinking,
They can't relate.
no, you're doing so well. And sometimes those are encouraging, even if you don't know what people are dealing with internally. When there's positive energy
Kind
around,
words.
it really does help. And you need to honestly surround yourself with positivity. I tell people a lot, people don't know what is their happy place, and everybody has to find the happy place.
Of course.
I have friends who are struggling with having children. I have friends who are struggling with trying to get married, and they always say to me like, "Oh, Adora, why are you always so happy? You're not worried. You don't have a husband. You don't have children." I'm like, "Adora, will I die? My mates too are dead." You know, at the end of the day, I love dancing. If you follow me on Instagram, it's either I'm always dancing in my car or I'm playing music. That's my happy place. And some people don't know theirs. Some people like Korean drama. Some people, their happy place is gospel music.
Wait, somebody's happy place is K-drama.
Oh, my sister.
No,
My
that can't be
sister.
right.
My sister.
K-drama
Once
does
she's
have a lot
frustrated,
of
she
drama.
goes to Korean drama and
Oh
she
my
good.
God.
So you have to find that thing, because most time people wouldn't help. People don't always
of course.
understand. But when you just go into that your space, it's like people that take weed. I don't encourage drugs, but there are positive things that just zone you out. The problem might still be there, but sometimes it's just
It will
good to take out some time.
out of
Be
that.
fair to yourself. Don't be too hard. Like, while I know the finish,
Okay, so what do you think what part do you think isolation plays in situations like this, especially in trauma?
I don't think anybody going through trauma should be isolated. I'll say this 1,000,001 times. I said this on air yesterday as well, where someone said introverts, how the introverts deal with isolation. I don't think that's even a good thing to do. See, the mind is a very powerful tool, and what you put in it determines a lot of the outcome of how you deal with life.
Okay.
Now, when you're dealing with stuff that is unexplainable, and that's what leads to mental health breakdown, and then you go into your own space, it's just silence. Sometimes silence is good. They say
Of
meditation, yoga, all of that. Yes, fair enough. But I still insist on positive energy. You need people around you. You need talking. I talk a lot, and I talk for a living. You know, and sometimes they say problems have solved.
Don't worry, don't bite.
So
Problem.
yes, the only problem people have dealt with is people have been beaten hard and they've shared to the wrong people. But there should be always someone. And let me tell you, if you don't have a physical someone, it is fine. There is God. I'm not going to come here and act like all holier than thou, but let me tell you, this is my journey. I discovered a brand new relationship with Jesus, and it has been the most edifying thing in my life. You can just, and that's why I say gospel music is a lot of safe place for a lot of people. Sometimes you're too sad to pray. Sometimes you're too broken and you just can't say anymore. It's fine. Shut the door, play the songs. The songs are prayers in itself, and they take you to the next level. And you will be so shocked how elevated how unburdened you can get after these sessions.
Okay.
So trust me, see, it's slowly, it's a day at a time. Don't expect it to all go away in 2 days or a month. I've been on this journey, like I said, for a couple of years, so you too can. But find your happy place ultimately. And if you need to see a therapist, it does a whole world of good. You would not understand it until
You know
you
the
find
problem
it.
with Nigerians is pretty expensive. Therapy here in Nigeria.
I was going there. I was
Pretty
going
expensive.
there.
So,
you know?
so they will resort to your last advice: talk to Jesus. That's
Why,
it.
No,
why,
but- no,
why
but-
would you say therapy is really
Right.
expensive?
45,000 one session, 3
No,
times a
but
week.
Away from that therapy, away from the expensive therapy, I know this is a private information, but your priest was really helpful.
Yes.
I'm sure that didn't cost
went
so
more.
much.
Yeah.
It didn't cost anything.
Anything. So you
course.
see.
Exactly.
So
No,
so the place of a priest who didn't cost so much, because again, in the priest's mind, he's doing his assignment, what he's called to do. But we have professional therapists who also are doing their career and their hustle.
I think the most important thing is to surround yourself with people. And that's also therapy in it.
Exactly.
That is.
The ability for you to actually speak with people who understand pain.
But you know, there are people that don't really take these things. Like the
Seriously,
people
of
in
course.
the pain, they feel like I need to go out and outsource, therapy, because everybody around here is just too familiar. I'm just too familiar.
And sometimes it
I need
helps,
something different.
Because if you're with people who are unfamiliar, you feel a little bit safe with them to
Yes.
discuss
Some
what.
of us, we have to know how this therapy things to work. But we don't know how this therapy things to work.
How?
I don't know.
Danny, you are just a very playful person.
I don't know how this therapy
So
things to work. True.
it works.
It
So you
works.
not sit down and talk to the person, tell me what are your problem.
Yes.
See how
Yes.
it works.
Sometimes they just
Somebody
give you.
walks up to
They just
you
listen. So
and talks to you,
Where you can tell Jesus.
shares the problem with you.
But Jesus gave them that knowledge to help you.
But you know that it works because if somebody listens to you, the person can absorb your pain, understand. That's why it has to be somebody who absorbs, who
Of
understands.
course.
Then
Not able to
I can be
judge you.
therapist too now.
Not
Person, sorry, I'm sorry
okay.
for cutting short. The person will tell you, Danny, I'm going through a lot. Say, go now. No, just go and leave. You
It will be fine.
see. So some people want it to be dealt. That's why some people don't talk to their siblings.
Yeah.
They don't talk to their
they want
parents.
to go to that
'Cause the
person
parents
that
will-
is
aha.
completely away from them,
You
so
get
they
it.
can't judge them.
Yes,
And most of the times
judgment
when
is the
people
thing.
judge, when you're listening to somebody that you heard people do crazy things.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you see somebody walk eyes open to problems, get issues, and come and discuss it with you. so you feel that okay, but you know it's expensive to listen to somebody without saying anything.
Yeah.
Yes. It takes
It's
a while.
very expensive. Why I'm saying it's expensive is so you understand why they have to bill it, because some people don't have any issues going to a therapist, because after telling you, after discussing with you, you still go do what is in your business. I mean, what you want
What
to
you
do.
do. True.
So it's easier when the person knows, okay, I'm giving you my time, so you have to really take it serious, because if I'm saying this is a suggestion of what to do, I'm advising you what to do, you should understand that it costs you something to get
To
it.
get there.
Yeah.
So you
I
take
agree.
it serious.
All right, this is Cold Room, and we have been speaking with Adara. Adara is Ekwesili here in the building, and we're talking about trauma and some of the experiences that she's gone through, and also particularly about the book. You said it's not just your story, but a compendium of other stories.
Yes.
And I'm sure we'll get to see how other people also healed, from their own experiences. Now what is peculiar about all of the stories that have been penned down?
So it's one of the main themes in the book is trust, the betrayal of trust, and that's what a lot of people deal with. So many people have put their trust in a person or people who have let them down. I'll tell you this for free. When I was in my relationship, I was told, "Oh, don't put too much on social media. Don't post your whole life. The enemies are there. They'll destroy it. Blah blah blah." The irony for me in my own situation was the main contributors that affected my relationship were internal and not external. So it wasn't even the social media devils; it was the people inside your private space. So the biggest thing out here is a lot of people have gone through break of trust. A lot of people in this generation go into relationships and marriages without fully healing. There's a book by Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo that talks about heal before you deal. Very, very important, and that's why I preach about this going to therapy. A lot of us are broken.
We don't even know.
That's the problem, and we take our broken selves into
In a
relationships, and
break the
two people
there.
break us.
Yeah, hurt
So,
people,
and then
hurt
you don't know this, but you start checking traits. How do you know when you're emotionally being abused? You know, when you're constantly being talked down. You know, I've had someone tell me, I've been asking you to marry me since you're doing Shakara. Better come, let me help your matter. You're getting old, you know. And some people genuinely believe it. You hear, and the problem is our parents. See, our mothers in
encourage
this
that.
generation are the biggest contributors.
You know that your mothers might not tell you anything. People just around you.
But that's the thing. But some mothers are very good at telling you a lot of things. Every Saturday you are going for wedding.
When
Auntie,
will you?
when is your own marriage? Every auntie that
When
sees you
will
wants
you?
to pray for you. Come, let's pray for you. Husband is coming. You know, these things are things that really do affect a lot of people. And going forward, some people, if you don't have a strong personality,
course.
you break, and then you end up settling with people that you would not on a normal day have even spoken to. And what does that do? It eventually leads you to bad relationships, and then you feel like you're not worth it. You're in a relationship where you're constantly being talked down on, where you think, oh, and someone tells you, I'm the only one that can manage you. If you like, leave this marriage, let's see who will manage you. And people believe these things, and they tend to stay and they lose it. I've seen women who are married and they hear, oh, I wanted to go into fashion, I wanted to have my own salon, but my children, my
How will I
husband.
be?
You lose your life in this country when you marry. A lot of women, they give up their dreams, they give up, and before you know it, they leave a shadow of themselves. And that's how people slowly slide into depression. And they don't even realize it. So I tell people, marry a partner who supports your dream, and that's very hard to find in this part of the world.
Okay. Now, you said something about realizing that you were being traumatized or being
Yes.
abused. I don't know the nature of the trauma that you went through.
Right.
But how were you able to recognize that, you know what, I'm facing a problem right now and I need to deal with it? Because like you said, a lot of people are roaming the streets. They don't even know what they're dealing with.
True.
They don't know. They have the slightest idea. They have to come in contact with some other person for them to realize, oh, I'm actually dealing with something like this. So what brought you to that realization?
One thing I would say that my parents did a good job with is they brought us up to be very self-confident people.
Okay.
I'm an extremely overconfident person. I'm not the easiest person to talk down at. I'm not the easiest person to feel less of myself. So I think in my situation, I was always aware. However, I was stuck in the society where I was trying to conform. So in my own case, my partner at the time, I think would say had a lot of complex. And I found myself constantly trying to encourage and help him out of that. And then losing myself.
Then losing yourself. I
in
was
the
go- I was
process.
waiting for that.
Yes, losing myself in the process. And then I heard all that. Marriage is not easy, oh. It's not going to be better anywhere. There's no good marriage. You have to, and I was constantly programming myself to accept that this is a reality, which in real life, it should not be the situation. So for me, I always saw the signs, but I felt like it would get better, and it didn't get better. And then at the end, let me tell you what saved me. It wasn't even myself, so I'm not going to tap myself at the back. It was Jesus. I'll tell you one prayer that worked for me. When everything was at climax for me, everybody was telling me to pray. And I was praying so much. Lucky there was Hallelujah Challenge going on at the time. I was doing so many prayers. And at some point, I told my friend, with the amount of prayer I'm praying, things are still going bad. So I'm not sure what God is saying. Is he telling me that this is for me, I should pray harder? Or is he telling me that I should run away from the situation, that this is not for me? My aunt would say, God is telling you to pray harder, people are fighting you. And then my dad would say, God is telling you to run away. So I was in between. And then my friend called me from London and she said there's a prayer she was going to send to me, and it was called the brick wall prayer. I'd advise anybody going through anything to look up that prayer. That prayer says, Father, build a wall insurmountable for me to jump over. That is, put a break. I was in counseling class, I was in therapy, I was in all of this, and I still did not know what the answer was. And I said this prayer for 7 days. Believe me not, the last day was when everything collapsed for me. And when it all ended, I wept like I was going to die. And then my friend said to me, why are you crying so much? You asked God for a sign. And here you have the sign.
And you're
I'm like, well,
crying.
I was crying for a sign for it to work and not to end. But then that's the irony. We have our plans, but God has the ultimate plan. So let his process, he says his plans are for
Good.
and not
Not
forever. So
forever.
sometimes we need to learn to go with the process. So we're humans, and it pains when it doesn't go the way you planned it, but you never know what you're being saved from.
All right, guys, we have been talking trauma here, and trust me, it is an amazing time. I hope you have been listening as well. Trauma is something that people deal with and they are not aware of. This is your sign to go and check your innermost heart. You remember we talked about sitting in the dark on Tuesday? This is your time to sit in the dark and really find out what exactly the problem is. And then when you are aware of the problem, then you can find a solution for you. So far, what would you say this journey has taught you?
It's taught me to believe in yourself. That's number one. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know your self-worth. A lot of people do not know their self-worth. A lot of people are ready to settle for anything and everything.
More like you were here on the last on the last show, because we were talking about something like this as well.
Yeah, so a lot of people are ready to settle for any and every, and once you do that, you've broken down and brought down all your boundaries. And once your boundaries are down, that's the beginning and the end of it all. So it's allowed to be selfish. I say that right now. It's allowed to be selfish when it comes to your mental health. It's allowed to be selfish when it comes to your needs and what you want out of life. And once you understand what your deal breakers are, what you're not mentally okay to deal with, don't settle. Don't believe that story of it's not going to be easy. Marriage is a lie. I want to believe that marriage can be easy. I want to believe that you can marry a good man or a good woman, a God purposeful man or woman. So like, pretty much, I believe that. Pretty much, I believe that at the end of the day, once you understand what you want, once you understand what you're willing to deal with, it makes life so much easier, and you can go on. What's going on? And you can go on and live a life that is sorry. You can go on and live a life that is not counted by anything else. That is, you can't interrupt like your destiny plan, because what happens is when you tend to bring down your standards, when you intend to compromise on what you're okay with, you will take a lot and you will not see it coming. I've been told so many times that you will not marry if you keep choosing. It's fine, and I've come to the realization that it's okay if I don't, as long as I don't find that thing that gives me peace. I'm fine. But people have married and they are not at peace, and then you're on the streets with a child, you're a single mom, and then they call you so baggage. I've heard that so many times, which is so painful. I've had women who've gotten married and they're divorced now, and nobody wants to marry you because you have kids. Meanwhile, the men who divorced you are roaming free and remarrying. So, ladies, please, this is really for us. We are always at the receiving end. So, I really would advise that people should reevaluate. Let's go back to the drawing board. Don't be pressured. Take this dating thing a step at a time. And men, I beg you, please, this is for you men. If you are not serious, if you don't think you have good intentions for a lady, do not push it any further.
That's right.
Honestly, and even if you start something, you think you like someone and you find out that it's not working, be polite and nice enough to amicably resolve things.
Right.
You're going to have daughters. Never forget that. And you have a mother and you have sisters. The more you go around hurting people,
Karma
has
back.
your address.
It doesn't wait so long these days
Anymore, I know. So honestly,
fast.
I think everybody knows the right thing to do. It's just whether you have the willpower to do it.
All right, Bright, you're smiling. Seems like you have a lot to say.
She's been saying great things.
All right,
and
let's hear you.
It's true, because I would have loved to come from the area where she tried to end. We live in a painful world. I would say in a painful world, because a lot of people are hurting in ways that they really cannot express. Everybody's hurting in one way, so pain is relative. It's something that I can say everybody has gone through a level of pain, so you can understand somebody's pain from another person's pain. And it's also important that we exercise empathy. Now, that my pain is not as much as yours does not mean it's not painful.
Yes.
So when something is painful to me, the fact that you felt something painful before should make you realize that somebody can be going through a situation or a season of pain. And your kindness to understand this person's situation will allow you to be able to, relate with that person with some sense of, respect,
Of course.
sense of empathy. That way the person now understands that, okay, this person is with me. Now I want to say also for like when we talk about trauma, it's actually a lot of situations that make people go into trauma.
Yes.
Some of the times it's just that maybe this person is in a situation where she cannot speak out, he cannot say things, and he has been, there were times we're talking about people who are, connected or married to people who are public figures. Now, when they are being traumatized, it is hard. It is difficult for them to actually come out and speak up for themselves, because they feel that this situation I'm going through will be affecting this person's career. I've seen people like that. So I was even speaking with Oprah. Danny, you know Oprah. So we're saying we would need to have a program where we have, people who stand for people, like those people behind the scenes. Like the what's her name now? What's this woman's
Chimamanda.
name? No. Even Chimamanda, the husband of Chimamanda, the husband of Choma Jesus, the husband. Have these people sit down together. Let's hear their side of the story. How do you manage being in a relationship with people who are, all out there, and then you have to sit? Because it's easy for us to clap for those who are seeing. But we don't realize the work those people who are behind the scenes are doing
to keep those people
So
up
if
there.
they are broken within, you don't get to know it. Even if they are broken, you say you cannot be broken. I mean, look at the person that is married to you. You dare not be broken. So you see, society silences pain in a way because it makes us feel that we do not have the right to express our pain.
Of course.
We don't have the right to actually cry. Like Danny and I, if you see me crying about something, you're like, now this kind of thing they make you cry. Why they cry like this? But we don't really express our pain. We don't accept pain. Because I always tell people, learn to accept your pain. In accepting that this is painful, then find a way to
That's
deal
the
with
only
the pain.
way you can deal with
That's
it.
the way to deal with it, because you have to accept that I'm feeling this pain. So we can now say, okay, since you're feeling this pain, are you feeling better now? I'm not feeling any better. Then we can take it serious. Then we can start dealing with it. But a lot of people do not accept their pain. It
Remain
becomes
in
abuse.
denial.
No, they get used to the pain and they feel that this pain is part of life. It's part of my life now. It becomes an abuse. And when pain becomes an abuse, you cannot tell an abuse from a normal life. So when it's happening to you, you feel that this is how life is. And that has been the issue. So one hurt builds another hurt, and people raise families from hurt.
Right. Very
Yes.
true.
Okay, such an amazing conversation, but let's get a sneak peek of what's going on this Sunday. Is it this Sunday?
This Sunday. So it's the book launch, the official book launch of Rona's Trauma, which is the book that we've been talking about. We're going to be launching on Sunday at Tot Pyramid in Wuse 2, Libreville, Wuse 2, at 2 p.m. And it's going to be a very, very packed event in the sense that we have a panel. So we're going to have a panel that's going to be talking about how do you not lose yourself and maintain your mental health in relationships and marriages. And on that panel, we have therapists, we have relationship coaches, we have priests. My therapist, shout out to
the
Father
priest.
Obada.
The famous priest will
He's
be
going
there
to be
too.
on the panel, yes.
Okay.
And then we have a divorce lawyer who personally has also gone through divorce herself and
That's one is
serious trauma. She has had the height of it as well. They're all going to be on the panel, so it's going to be a very, very serious conversation.
you should. I mean, this should be your
I
wingman.
feel. See, we
This should
should.
be your wingman.
We should. So that's going to be happening on Sunday at 2 p.m. I said at Top Pyramid. We've been giving out free books this week. So yes, if you're on my Instagram, I've given.
And you did
out
not bring
a-
anyone to issue you.
we would get you one, definitely. So yes, I mean, for more details about it, people can just follow us on our Instagram page at Miss D Visuals and Prints or Miss D Adora to get more information about the book launch.
All right.
All right. I saw a few calls coming in. Don't know if that call can come back. I'm here. There's a call coming in here. But
Yeah.
share your thoughts. 09073530044 or 09087668888.
The WhatsApp is also open to receive your reactions on 090-9705-4450. We have just a few minutes before we creep out of the hour. Do call us up and let us know if you have questions or contributions concerning the topic trauma that we have been dealing with.
So, guess it's going to be an interesting conversation on Sunday.
It's supposed to. We
Top
hope.
Pyramid.
The problem in Nigeria is a lot of silence. Is that society? So people don't talk about these things. I'm hoping people would start to speak up.
They don't. Shame.
Shame.
They don't talk about it until when it gets too much to stay quiet.
Well, you shouldn't live like that. Things are changing. People need to stop living.
More vocal.
We have more Dannies out there that would give you a hug, hopefully. So you can come out and talk.
All right. Any final words?
Yes. Protect your mental health. I can't keep saying this more. That's our hashtag. Hashtag protect your mental health. Hashtag find your happy place. Hashtag just enjoy being you. Don't die in silence. Don't stay in a marriage or relationship that does not enhance or edify you. And please do not settle for less.
All right.
Those are the parting words that you have gotten from the new author. Yes, guys. Anyways, thank you so much for sticking around with us from the hour of 10 to 2 p.m. It's such a nice time through all those times with you. But see you tomorrow again, the Friday edition of the Midday Extra Show. We're going to prepare our playlist. So tomorrow, you know what it is. You're going to dance a lot on the show. In the meantime, peace out and see you some other time.
I'll be a fool to go back